in Stavanger, Norway. I got in about noon, landed here, but by the time I fill up and file the flight plan to the Faroe Islands, the Faroe Islands close at 5 o'clock, so I would have never made it in time. I left Budapest the day before yesterday. The flight was relatively uneventful. You know, lots of IMC, lots of building cumulus clouds. That means pretty much a roller coaster ride for a long time, maybe an hour and a half out until, I take it back, maybe 2 hours until past Prague. And then after that I had relatively clear to Hanover, Germany. After landing, I asked the ground controller to let me go and fuel up. One of the most critical and important stuff to do after landing is, no matter how tired you are, whatever, you have to go bathroom, whatever, you need to get fuel. Otherwise, getting fuel later on, early in the morning, whatever, is almost nearly impossible. So in Hanover, ground controller gave me Tango 2 Mike and Papa to the fuel station. It's a BP fuel station. I taxied out there. It's a relatively cool fuel station. Shut off the engine, turned the airplane into the pump, and I guess that's not how they do things here, so I got burned again. Security came after me here that I didn't come with a follow me vehicle. Well, I said the ground controller gave me the clearance to taxi, and I guess that's how it works, you know. But apparently if there is a follow me vehicle, I don't know what the deal is. You know, they need a job or whatever, you know, that I have to request them each and every time. But I saw other airplanes taxi out without follow me vehicle. But in any case, so they scolded me for that. And then next they told me that if I turn the airplane, which I'm gonna maybe draw out later, into the pump, that's a very, very dangerous situation, and that's dangerous, and so they have to write me up. So they did. I didn't know whether there was gonna be a fine or not, but I don't know. So apparently the way they fuel the airplane here is parallel park, which I don't know why turning the airplane into the pump you know, is dangerous. I mean, that's how we fuel anywhere in the United States, or however you want to, it doesn't matter. But in any case, so this morning I took off fairly early. I cleared out as fast as I could. Again, lots of IMC from Hanover to here, Sola, Norway. And on landing, you know, quite a bit of cumulus clouds. At one point, you know, I dropped like 500 feet. That was cool, but I guess that's part of the adventure. Originally, I wanted to, from Hanover, I wanted to fly to Norwich, England, but apparently England needs a GAR report 4 hours in advance. It's a general aviation report for customs. And then I checked really closely that Norwich is not even an airport of entry. So Rocket Route listed a few airport of entries. I guess Leeds was one of them, but the winds were so fierce this morning, you know, that they would have been headwinds. So I could have never, well, it would have taken me a long time to get there. Plus thunderstorms on the west coast of England blowing right into my way. By the time I would have gotten there, I don't know, you know, I don't want to land in thunderstorms. So instead I looked at this huge low pressure that is blowing from the Atlantic up the La Manche, or English Channel, whatever they call it in English, and they're blowing toward Norway. So it just dawned on me last night, you know, it's like, why don't I just go to Norway then? Even though it's you know, it's a detour still. In any case, so that's how I ended up here in Sola, Norway, and now I got a taxi to come downtown. Pretty nice. So my hope is that from here, this high pressure, this very low pressure front is gonna move closer in. It's gonna give me a really nice tailwind to the Faroe Islands, and possibly and hopefully from the Faroe Islands to Iceland. And then Iceland, I have to sit down and think. Oh, the other thing is it's very hard sometimes to, not sometimes, pretty much all the time, to find the Wi-Fi reliable enough to load YouTube videos. So a lot of times it's impossible for me to load anything. So hopefully today I can. And by the way, there is a wedding in that church behind me right now. It's nice. I'm going. It says Stavanger, whatever, Maritime Museum. Oh yeah, some new boat ideas. Hey, why not? These are particularly interesting joints because these are made out of roots of trees on a ledge on a very steep slope, and that's exactly the type of joints that boats use too. Haven't really mentioned yet, but my ferry permit by definition is just a one-time airplane repositioning. Was valid only from Cleveland to Budapest, but I have to request another ferry permit from Budapest back to Cleveland, and that is happening through the International Field Office from New York. Got a phone number. I called the phone number, but unfortunately that phone number is just listing a fax number, and then it goes right into voicemail. I already called them 3 times and haven't really got anything, although at times I was flying, so I don't know, maybe they did or maybe did not. So it's pretty disturbing because I am not able to contact them for issuing another ferry permit back to Cleveland. And then yesterday I went to their website and they have a simple form to submit some message, so I gotta see what email I got from them, if anything. The problem is that in Budapest, I said, at Budapest International, I asked them, hey, do you guys have a fax machine? I need to fax some documents. And they looked at me and said, we haven't used a fax machine in 8 years. So we are a little bit behind with technology, I guess. So I have the document in a PDF format. So I need an email or something from them so I can submit my permit form. I contacted the Cleveland Fish, though they were pretty nice. I told them, hey, call this number. I mean, I'm not getting anywhere with this. So I'm hoping, that maybe something is gonna come through. Although they told me that I knew up front, that I'm not supposed to fly back without a ferry permit, and there will be enforcement action against me. So I'll tell you what, flying is a lot easier than the administrative issues. And it's not just Germany with the confiscation of the airplane, but like I said, we have that in the United States too, and I bet other countries have that too. So there you go. How am I supposed to submit that form to the FAA to be perfectly legal? I'd like to be legal. I don't have a record and I don't intend to have a record, but on the other hand, in the North Atlantic, over the Arctic Circle, the weather is not waiting for the FAA, and the weather is not 9 to 5, meaning 9 o'clock in the morning, in the afternoon 5. So I have a window, I have to go. Otherwise, I can get stuck for days, maybe a week or weeks. Don't know. Hey, I guess that's part of the adventure, but still, paperwork, dear God, I'd rather fly in INC in cumulus clouds. So guess what I'm doing? I'm at the hotel room and there is organic mandarin and mint hand wash. That's really cool because now I can wash my shirt. Yeah, I know there's a laundry, but I really don't have local currency and I really don't want to wait for it. Plus, they have really nice hangers so I can hang it over the bathtub, let it drip. And not only that, but they also have an iron here so I can iron out. And then next to my pants. So cool. This is like a really cool place. Yeah, it's always just a little washing, that's all. So it doesn't need much to, well, just sweating in it, you know. Some places, when you pass through certain altitudes, you know, it's so hot, you know, close to the ground. It's up at 10,000 feet, it was minus 5 Celsius degrees, so sweating too much, I don't want to stink. So check this out. I have no idea how I got this idea, but I got a big clip where I'm just trying to keep my cables tidy. But this clip is gonna be really, really awesome, and I'll show you in a second why. And here's the final result. My shirt and my pants are drip drying into the tub, so I don't mess up the floor of the bathroom. And here's the paper clip holding my pants, so hopefully I get a little edge in there. And I noticed if I keep my shirt, and well, if I dry them without wringing them out, then they stay fairly wrinkle-free. The really good news is I got a message from the New York International office, and I also got a list of names that I can contact. I called 5 of them, left messages, some disconnected. But in any case, one returned a phone call and recommended a 6th person. So I emailed him my valid permit from Cleveland to Hungary, and also the application from Hungary to back to Cleveland. So I'm pretty hopeful that this is gonna work out. And so that's good news, I'm happy.